Bethany Manktelow here. Welcome to our Millwall fan show with some new voices, but the same focus. Just everything Millwall. Enjoy! Welcome to the 2025-26 series of Millwall No One Likes Us Talkins, our Millwall fan show. I'm your host, Bethany Manktelow, and with me I have the No One Likes Us Talking team of Steve Warren.
Hi, Bethany.
Jeff Burnige.
Hi, Bethany and everybody.
And Stan Godwin.
Good evening, Bethany and everyone.
Not everybody likes them, but they don't care.
We were thrilled to defeat the Blades at Bramall Lane and Coventry City at the Den in the Carabao Cup. Now we're gearing up for another exciting trip to Crystal Palace in September. We'll chat more about that later, but for now, let's hear from our sponsor, G&M Motors.
Hi, this is Jess Tuffield from G&M Motors. Operating from a modern and purpose-built facility in Milton Road, Gravesend, G&M Motors offers a complete range of new Honda cars and services. As well as new Hondas, we have an extensive range of used cars, including ex-Motability cars from a variety of manufacturers. Specialising in new Honda cars, G&M Motors has been retailing quality new and used vehicles to the people of Kent and South East London for over 4 decades. We have been a Honda dealership since 1972 and are the country's longest serving supplier of this renowned marque. Conveniently sited just 2 miles from the A2, 10 miles from the M25 and Dartford Crossing, visitors to our showroom are assured a warm welcome from our experienced and friendly staff. Our facilities include an on-site workshop capable of providing full vehicle servicing and repairs, as well as an extensive parts department offering genuine Honda parts and accessories. The expertise of our skilled mechanics is not limited to just Hondas, but extends to most makes and models of motor vehicles. Whatever your motoring needs, visit us at G&M Motors today. The newly extended hours of our G&M headquarters means that you can contact us from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. on weekdays and 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. on Saturdays. To contact us, call us today on 01474 365 026.
Thank you, Jess. Debbie Julian's here. Don't forget to call Jess on 01474 81 3562. G&M Motors have been dear friends with the Julians family for over 4 decades now. From my dad Lenny to me, Debbie, Lions together.
I'm your host, Bethany Manktelow, and with me I have the No One Likes Us Talking team of Steve Warren, Jeff Burnige and Stan Godwin. Many thanks to our sponsor, G&M Motors. Why not check the Hondas out and see what else they have on site at Gravesend? Our first guest this evening is truly a legend in his own lifetime. He spent 8 wonderful seasons at the Den and still holds the record for the most appearances in his playing position, a record that has never been beaten in the club's 140 years of existence. He was the first Millwall player to be capped for England since Reg Smith in 1938. He remains a passionate supporter of the Lions and is often seen at the Den, cheerfully supporting trust events and the club. Please welcome me in joining Bryan King.
Good evening.
All right, Brian.
Oh,
Good evening, Brian.
Mate. Oh, good evening, Jeffrey.
Good evening, Brian.
Steve, nice to speak to you.
Nice to speak to
Good
you
evening,
too.
Brian.
How are you going, Stan? Anyway, I can hear you righting and wronging everything here. What's going on?
No, everything is hunky-dory, mate. Hunky-dory.
Wonderful.
As they say.
Wonderful.
Brian, we are so excited to have you on the show as we gear up for a big day at the Den for you this Saturday. Before we get started, we'd love to hear about the special day this year when you celebrated 50 years since your last league game for Millwall on April the 26th. It's a milestone worth sharing.
Yeah, it was, funnily enough, it was dear old Jim Murray who reminded me that it was Bristol Rovers at home at the old Den. And 50 years later, I happened to have the pleasure of coming to the Den to see the game and was welcomed by the new CEO, Mark Fairbrother, and spent a very pleasant day in the hospitality section and watching the game. And thoroughly enjoyed the day. It was it's just ridiculous when I think it's 50 years ago this year since I played my last game for Millwall. And as I've said on many occasions, I'm very humble and very grateful that people still remember Bryan King.
Anyway, Brian, it's me here, you will know. We now know that former Lioness Prue Buckley, former Millwall captain Les Briley, and you will be honoured on the pitch ahead of the Wrexham game to be inducted as Forever Lions. Right, can you tell us what led to this type of recognition becoming part of Millwall award system?
Right, well, it was about 18 months ago. I sat talking to Sean Daly and Eamon, and the thing that's bugged me with Millwall all these years is we never really had a former players association. I've been several times up to the Coventry City former players, and it's an exciting day when you're welcomed and called in, and okay, you have to work a little bit, speak at the various lounges, but they really look after you. And that's something I've always thought that Millwall should do to their former players. Unfortunately for my team and before my team, a lot of the players have passed on. So I said to Sean, and we really have to make an effort. We have to talk to Mark and we have to talk to the new regime at the football club and try and get this off the ground once and for all. And I was very pleased to get the feedback from the community trust and also from Millwall to say that they'd given the green light to go ahead. And all of a sudden it became the Forever Lions, and which meant that it was going to be devoted to the former players, both men and women. And I feel extremely honoured, as I know Les does, and I'm sure Prue does, that we're going to be the first people inducted into this new association as such. So looking forward to the game on Saturday. I just hope we can bring them a bit of luck. And 3 points, this award, that'll do me nicely. And of course, to see some old friends and chat and talk about the old days as well as the present Millwall setup.
It's Jeff here, Brian. Yes, I was aware that you'd managed to persuade people that this was a good idea to have a former players association. And it's good to see that it has finally got off the ground. And for you and our promotion-winning captain, Les Briley, and a former England international and Millwall Lioness, Prue Buckley, are going to be the first ones. I'm looking forward to seeing that. What time is that going to happen on the pitch, Brian?
Well, they say, funnily enough, I was at the at Sports Ground today to see a Millwall football school where they're providing coaching, free food, and I spent the day there along with you, Jeff. And
yes.
It was really enjoyable to see the kids enjoying it and the way the coaches work. And there's a great rapport between the boys and the coaches, and I had a chance to say a few words to them and remind them to go home and tell their granddads and the dads that they met Bryan King, because I'm sure all these young lads had no idea who I was when I started to talk to them. But I was well received, and it was a very good day. The weather was good, and enjoyed it. And Nick, who looks after everybody, made us more than welcome. And the same with Kai, who took pictures and other stuff, I believe is going on social media. But going back to the Saturday presentation, I believe we're going down to be presented on the pitch at 2:30 when we receive our awards or ties or whatever's going to be presented to us.
Yeah, it was an enjoyable day down at St Paul's. We operate it as Millwall Community Trust, but it was an enjoyable day. But Brian, the thing that I remember about this today, or yesterday it was when they asked you who the most famous player you'd ever played against was. And you said Pele.
Jeff Burnige.
Tommy Steele. And you said Pele, not only once, but twice. Well, some of these kids, there was nobody there older than about 10, but they all knew who Pele was, didn't they?
They did indeed, and I believe it's through all these games they play on the computers. Well, I'm sure it is. I was very lucky and privileged to play against him in the select 11 at Craven Cottage in 68 or 69, I think it was. And then again, when I went to see if I could continue playing after I got injured at Coventry with Vancouver Whitecaps, my second game for them was against New York Cosmos in New York. It was just a small stadium, the Yankee Stadium. I think there's 73,000 there. Again, not only Beckenbauer, but there's Beckenbauer and Pele and Cigliani and a few other names. Funnily enough, an old teammate of mine, Steve Hunt, who made a very big name for himself in America. And as I say, if you're going to play against somebody, it always kills the conversation when people are saying, well, who's your best player or your best player? And then I quite shyly say Pele. And that usually brings the conversation to a swift end because you ain't going to get better than that anywhere or any time.
Well, it was a very enjoyable day. As you say, Nick Farrell, who's been a lifelong Millwall fan, was our host today. And Kai Bennett, who works for the Community Trust, took some nice pictures. So look forward to seeing those. But Brian, congratulations on that, being one of the inaugural recipients of that award. I'd like to ask you about what you've been doing in more recent years, living in Norway. What's your activities been while you've been living over there?
Well, I was manager and coach for about 16 years in Norway and Sweden. Funnily enough, I had 7 promotions with the teams I was with over there. We got to the cup final.
Brian, you were most recently described as a successful pioneer in bringing Scandinavian players to the English game by both Jonathan Northcroft in the Sunday Times and also by Tony Cascarino on TalkSport Radio. Can you tell us how this element of your career developed beyond your playing days?
Well, it goes back to when I was first into Norway, really. We played a cup match against a team called Moss, and they had a centre-half called Einar Oss. And I recommended him originally to my pal at Nottingham Forest, Alan Hill. He came over and had a look at him, and of course, the rest, as they say, is virtually history because Einar went on to Bayern Munich and then he went on to Nottingham Forest, or could have been the other way around. I'm not sure. My memory ain't as good as it was, but Cluffy was well pleased with that. They come over and played a friendly, and I had a very pleasant day with him, and he was very happy with Einar, to be honest. So that was the first player that I was involved in moving to England or helping to move to England. The next one I saw playing as a kid in a tournament in America, in Minneapolis and also Denver in Colorado. He was a captain of a team, under-18 team, never played international football for Norway at any junior level. Thought he looked a decent player, and I recommended him to Alex Ferguson because this kid was a Man United supporter, and his name was Edinburgh. To which Alex couldn't sign him initially because he hadn't played any internationals at any level. So he went from Vålerenga to a club called Lillestrøm, and finally, of course, the joke was always that when he signed for Man United, Alec reminded me that we could have had him for nothing or just a bit of compensation. And he finally cost him 5.8 million. So he wasn't too happy about all that. But that was really the second player I was initially involved with. And it really just evolved from there with certain players, Leonards and Alfie Haaland, Erling's father. He was he was another one that we helped, and he went to Leeds and then Man City and so on. And recently, while I was at Everton, I took a young kid there along with his dad, Erling Haaland, he was just coming up for 16. He would have cost Everton at the time about just under £1 million. And he played 2 matches in the week he was over with his dad, and he done well. But the consensus of opinion from the academy was he's such a big boy at 15, 16. I mean, he was 6'3" then. Bit skinny, but very powerful for that age group. And they come to the conclusion that as he grew up and the people around him at his age grew up, he might not be as effective as what he could be. Well, I think that's been blown into heaven, isn't it? The boys prove that he can score goals, and he's quite an exciting player. And I think it cost a bit more than £2 million today, to be honest. But it's just been things like that. I've been a member of the Coaches Association, or the Trainers Association, as they call that, since 1986 when it first started. I'm still a member. I'm a member as a pensioner. And the coaching, of course, was something that I enjoyed, and managing, but all these things come to an end. I've done a bit of agency work. I've done scouting, as I say, for the last 27 years, and that was really enjoyable. Travelled the world at the Premier League club's expenses and enjoyed it immensely, and it was a good living. And saw a lot of games, saw the whole world. I mean, Olympic Games in Australia, and going to look at players who come to Villa, Juan Pablo Engel in Buenos Aires, America, all over Europe, Africa, Asia. So I've had a good life in football. I think it's about 65 years I've been in football now, and I'll be in football until the old clogs get kicked, I think. And Millwall's a nice way to see games, and I love coming down there. And as I say, I'm always humble when people come up and say you weren't a bad goalkeeper or things of that nature. And I respect the Millwall fans. I respect the club, and the same with Coventry, and also a non-league club called Chelmsford City. I always look for their results because that's where my life in football started. And I think my greatest part of my football career was, of course, the 9 years I had with Millwall. And it just seems remarkable that I'm still the goalkeeper that's made the most league appearances. I can't believe in 140 years. I mean, surely there's somebody, I believe Fording was very close to beating me, but he failed at the last hurdle. So it's nice to have that honour. And I really, really am humble that I have got that honour, because Millwall are in my heart. No, they will never, ever be anywhere else.
Hi, Brian. It's Steve here.
Nice to speak to you, Steve.
Lovely to speak to you. Firstly, thanks. I'm looking forward to picking up my personalised copy of your book from the Lions Centre on Saturday. As I won one of the score prediction leagues. So
I signed it today, actually. I think Omen had sent a text message to Nick, or Kai, and I thought I was going to write another book. But I hope you enjoy what I said to you.
Oh, thank you. I really will enjoy reading it.
Good.
I know you ardently follow Millwall to this day. What do you think of our prospects for this season?
Well, to be fair, there seem to be great expectations from everybody connected with the club. We seem to have a reasonably powerful squad. Unfortunately, injuries are always going to happen at football clubs. What we don't want to happen is like it did at the end of last season, where key players were missing key matches. I've heard the word that a player who I like very much, the young boy, Billy Mitchell. Well, I don't know whether he's so young now, but he might be out for a little period. Like him, I like his enthusiasm. I like his commitment. I always call him a posh version of Terry Erlock, but he's got a great feeling for the club, as his family have. And I look at the signings that have been made. I was impressed with the goalkeeper at Sheffield. everybody seems to think that his big save to the left was the one, but for me, the one low down was a very, very good save. He got a good strong hand on it, and those two saves obviously got us the points up there. And apart from the Middlesbrough game, which was an absolute disaster by the sound of it, but we still could have got something out of it. And I think the optimism within the football club and the fans is quite high. I just hope we can keep this momentum going. I'm looking forward to the game against Wrexham, because this is a high-profile side in our league, of course, with the film stars who own it and the paraphernalia around the series on Disney, and which has been great for the Championship and all the leagues that they've been in the last 4 or 5 years. I know the manager. He's a pal of a dear friend of mine, Ian Atkins. Phil, he's done a hell of a job there, and we hope Alex Neil's going to do the same kind of job with Millwall. So fingers crossed from my end, I can tell you.
And mine too.
So, Brian, before you go, we do have Ted's Prediction League. There will be a prize for the best score predictor. So please share your forecasts for these 3 Championship fixtures. So we've got Millwall Wrexham. What's your score prediction for Millwall Wrexham?
Well, it's a big game for both teams, to be honest. Wrexham won in the week. We won in the week. So my heart's going to say Millwall are going to win. And I'm looking for a 1-0 or a 2-1. I'll go for 2-1.
Okay.
Millwall.
Blackburn Norwich.
Norwich had a good result away. Norwich seem to be struggling to put good results on the board. I'll go for Blackburn 1-0.
Okay, and Ipswich Derby.
Ipswich Derby. Well, Ipswich has soon got to start winning games. I'll go for Ipswich 2-0.
Lovely. Well, thank you for being on the show, Brian. It's truly been a pleasure hearing your story and your thoughts on Millwall. My dad, Steve, and I will be clapping for you on Saturday. We're just to the right of the away dugout, so you can keep an eye out for us. Also, maybe, just maybe, we can catch up with you sometime in person, which would be great. So, wishing you all the best and take care, and let's chat again before the season ends.
I look forward to that, and thanks very much for inviting me on the programme, and all the best to you, Steve. I'll look out for you on Saturday, and you, Bethany, and I dare say Stan. Are you about down there, Stan? And
I'll be there I'll be down there on Saturday, mate.
Well done,
so
mate.
I'll keep an eye open for you, mate.
Right, Stan. Long as you do that, you never know till you know. Remember that.
Oh, that's true, mate. That's very true.
There you go. And I know Jeff's in the family enclosure.
Well, I am indeed.
So he'll be all right building Lego and chasing dinosaurs around. So you'll be all right, Jeff. So. Good luck to all 4 of you. And have a good night. And I look forward to hearing the programme. Thanks very much again.
All right.
Thank you.
See you, Brian.
Thanks, Brian. Yeah. Bye.
Cheers,
bye-bye.
Brian. See you Saturday.
Bye. Yeah, bye-bye. Thank you.
We will take a break there and hear from Harvey Brown.
Hi, Harvey Brown here. I am proud of the Lions Food Hub, which is jointly owned by Kelly and Ellen Webster, and they have been supporting families within our community for over 2 years on Millwall match days. If you would like to donate to them, they have a match day donation hub at the SE16 bar at Coldblow Lane, end of the ground, where they accept any food or money and toiletry donations. If you can help, any donations will be received with thanks.
I'm your host, Bethany Manktelow, and with me I have the No One Likes Us talking team of Stan Godwin, Jeff Burnige and Steve Warren. The Lions Food Hub welcomes donations on match days at the Coldblow Lane Stand fan zone. Throughout the week you can also drop off donations at the Lions Centre, a warm and inviting space of our Millwall Community Trust situated on Ballina Road, just a quick 50-yard stroll from the club shop. Now, Ellis Barr is about to undergo surgery to help improve her mobility. Everyone here, No One Likes Us Talking, and our listeners are sending warm wishes for a quick, smooth recovery. Let's hear from Ellis.
Hello, Ellis here, and I'm glad to be back talking about Millwall. I know many have watched my videos. Thanks for your support along the way. It is now time to hear what all the Millwall teams are up to. Come on, Millwall!
Thank you as always, Ellis. Paul Loading brings us the Millwall Romans and Pride update.
Hi, it's Paul Loading from the Millwall Romans. Still in our pre-season with training carrying on every Wednesday. It's open training. We're getting quite big numbers there, 20 to 25 people per week. So it's really kicked off well with pre-season this year. In terms of the predictions this week, Millwall getting some cracking results. Great result for them in the week. Now we move on to Crystal Palace. That'll be a feisty game. I'm going to try and get down there to that one myself. But for these predictions for this weekend, I'm going to say Millwall are going to nick that 1-0. I think Blackburn Norwich. I think Blackburn will take that 2-1. And Ipswich Derby. I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw.
Miles Thornton reports for Maritime Radio on 2 Millwall Lionesses matches this week against Barking on Sunday and Sutton on Wednesday evening.
This is Miles Thornton reporting for Maritime Radio. The Millwall Lionesses faced a demanding few days as they took on Barking women and Sutton United women in quick succession, earning a point from 2 spirited performances, the first at home and the second away. In the first of the 2 fixtures, Millwall were narrowly edged out 2-1 by Barking on Sunday afternoon at St Paul Sports Ground with manager Ted Jones unavailable. Jack Wisson took charge and he oversaw a gritty display that nearly produced a comeback. After a cagey first half with limited chances, it was Barking who struck first, as Shenty Charles found space in the box and clinically finished past Abby Baravic in the 64th minute. And just 3 minutes later, Charles doubled her tally with another composed effort, putting the visitors firmly in control. Millwall refused to fold and mounted a late rally. Mia Lockett pulled one back in the 86th minute, capping off a period of sustained pressure from the hosts. Moments later, Sophie Chapman came agonisingly close to an equaliser, crashing a powerful header against the crossbar. Despite the late push, Barking held firm, led by captain Dan Carlton, to see out the win. There was also a debut for Millwall's new signing, Ronnie Richards, who signed on a dual registration basis from London Bees. She brought fresh energy off the bench during Millwall's late surge. Just 3 days later, Millwall were back in action and earned a well-deserved point in a thrilling 1-1 draw with Sutton United. The match was a high-tempo affair with chances at both ends and strong goalkeeping displays from Millwall stopper Abby Baravic and Sutton's Megan Taylor. Sutton nearly opened the scoring early on when Millie Cutler struck the post in the 4th minute following a rapid counter-attack. Millwall responded through winger Mia Lockett, whose dazzling run set up Portia Milan Langley right, but her shot drifted narrowly wide. The breakthrough, though, came in stoppage time of the first half. Maisie Joyce forced a save from Taylor, and Portia Milan Langley right reacted quickest to the shot to slot home the rebound, giving Millwall a deserved lead at the break. Sutton equalised shortly after the restart when Gabby Williams was brought down in the box and Beth Humphrey converted the resulting penalty with composure. Both teams continued to press for a winner. Millwall substitute Flory Winfield came close with a sharp effort that was well saved, while Sutton's Becky Olamadeji rattled the crossbar in the 80th minute after Abby Baravic produced a fine stop moments earlier. In the final moments, Academy graduate Kayla Townsend nearly clinched all 3 points for the Lionesses, but Taylor stood tall once again to ensure the points were shared. The Lionesses will now turn their focus to the upcoming away fixture on Sunday the 31st of August when they travel to face New Haven Women. Kick-off is at 2 p.m. Miles Thornton, Maritime Radio.
As we mentioned earlier, we delivered 2 wins over the Blades and the Sky Blues. Dad, how would you describe that victory at Bramall Lane last Saturday after the very disappointing defeat at home to Borough?
Well, I thought the Sheffield United game was a great game for many reasons. But firstly, it showed that we've got the fight to tough it out when we get in front. I know we rode our luck a little, but there were some tremendous saves by Bender, and Cundall's goal was so well taken. When you see it side on, you watched him stay on side, and then as soon as the ball was headed, he got behind their back line and he was in. So, that shows some real nous, and that was really good to see. I think we'll probably need to start thinking about changes for the defence, because obviously Jaffett's not going to be there anymore. So, but I thought actually they looked all right on Saturday. We looked a bit shaky at times, but I think as the game wore on, we looked better. In the second half, defensively we did really well. I still think we struggled a bit in front of goal, and I think we'll need to start killing teams off, or this is going to feel like a long season. But overall, I think we deserve the win. And if we play like that in the future, we'll win more than we lose.
Stan, another win on Tuesday night at the Den over unbeaten Coventry. Was it expected or exceptional?
I think it was a bit of both, to be perfectly honest. I always I always expect us to win when we're playing at home anyway, regardless of who the opposition is, purely because we're at home. But I was really pleased with the performance on Tuesday night. I can't think of any one player where I thought was off the pace. I thought they was all good. And the guy that really stuck out for me was the guy, Grant, who scored the second goal. I mean, I've watched him 2 or 3 times now, and he's not the finished article by any stretch of the imagination, but he's got the makings to be a good central defender and play at that sort of level. But no, and what's pleasing was when we were sitting there watching the game, everyone that was around me, I mean, it seems surreal these days, but everyone around me none of them were moaning about what Millwall should have done but didn't. Everyone seemed to be happy with it, and, the effort was there and all that sort of stuff. I thought we won the game. I did think once they got their goal, I thought, well, we might be hanging on a bit here. But no, I thought we won it, and if we carry on playing like that, and then top that with the performance we'd had on this previous Saturday, it all looks good. But no, I think we're doing okay at the moment. And as I say, the thing that strikes me, I ain't heard anybody, complain too much. That's what I find bizarre. But long may that continue. But no, I thought we played really well. So let's keep going.
And Jeff, when the balls were drawn for the third round tie in the Carabao Cup, what was your initial and subsequent feeling about us facing Crystal Palace again at Selhurst Park, less than a year apart?
Well, whenever there is a cup draw, I'm always hoping for a home match, and I suppose you've got a 50-50 chance. So when Crystal Palace's name was read out as the home team, I immediately thought, I bet that's us. And of course, it was amazing to be going back there so soon after that memorable match in the FA Cup, when, of course, there was the incident with Roberts, our goalkeeper, and Mateta, the Palace centre forward. It will obviously be a very, very tempestuous game. Any local derby with them is going to be big. That one was big. But with everything that went on, with what Crystal Palace was saying about that incident, it's bound to be even more lively when we go and play there. It should be fantastic, because I think we've got a better side now than we had then, and they may have a weaker side than they had then. They've already lost Eberechi Eze. We don't know yet, but maybe they'll have lost Mark Gahey by then. I'm really looking forward to it. I wanted a home tie, but at least we haven't got to go very far to watch our beloved Lions just down the road.
Can I just add something to that? What the Palace thing, you see. We all know the fallout there was with the chairman Parish and whatever, and his outrageous comments at the time, ably assisted by TalkSport Radio and Jim White in particular, right? And the irony of it all is that when they had the Charity Shield for Palace against Liverpool at Wembley, and some of the Palace fans booed when they had the minute silence for Jota, right? The very next day, Jim White had nothing to say about that. Absolutely nothing to say about that at all. And I thought to myself, yeah, but if that had been Millwall there, he'd have gone on about it all day. And I just leave it at that.
Well said. Thanks for that, everyone. So, we are very excited to face Wrexham at the Den this Saturday at 3 p.m. The Red Dragons are riding high after their impressive huge win, as they describe it, in the Carabao Cup, where they beat Preston North End 3-2, coming from behind to secure their place in the third round. While they're celebrating their cup success, they're still seeking their first championship win after 3 matches. In the bookies front, our odds are 10-11 to win, a draw is 5-4, and a Wrexham victory is 3-1. We are the favourites, but remember, we were also favoured against Middlesbrough, and look what happened. So, what do we all think? Are we hoping for a positive result, or could it go another way? I'll give you my prediction first, and Rob McElhenney, if you're listening, I'm sure you are, please close your ears. You may be my favourite comedian / creator of my favourite TV show of all time, so don't listen to this next bit. I'm going for a 3-0 win to Millwall, so Millwall 3, Wrexham 0. So what are everyone else's predictions? Dad?
Well, I think it's going to be close, and I think Millwall are going to win 1-0, and I'm banking on Coburn to score.
Stan?
Well, I think, and I think it will be close, but I think that Wrexham are now finding it a bit difficult at this level. I mean, they've not pulled up too many trees since they've got there. So I think we'll win it 2-1, but I think it will be relatively easy. I don't think it's going to be as difficult as we thought it might have been. That's my view.
And Jeff?
Well, I was confident when I was going into the Middlesbrough game, but their young player, Hayden Hackney, had a very, very good game. Looks like a player with a big future. So I'm hoping that this time, instead of conceding 2 late goals, we'll possibly be scoring 2 late goals. I think Millwall will win. I think we're a better team than Wrexham, so I think we will win. And either of those predictions are good, 1-0, 2-1, that my colleagues have just given. I'm going to go 2-0 for Millwall.
Okay, so how do we see the other 2 predictions going for the other games? So Stan, Blackburn, Norwich.
I think that'd be a 1-1 draw.
And Ipswich, Derby.
I think that will be a 2-0 win to Derby.
Okay, Jeff, Blackburn, Norwich.
I also think that's going to be a 1-1 draw.
And Ipswich, Derby.
That's a difficult one. That is a difficult one. I've got a funny feeling that might be a good game for Derby. But again, I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw.
Okay, and Dad, Blackburn, Norwich.
I think that's going to be 2-1 to Blackburn.
And Ipswich, Derby.
I'm going for a 2-2 draw with that.
Okay. So I'm going to go Blackburn, Norwich. I'm going to go a 0-0 draw. And Ipswich, Derby, I'm going to go 2-1 to Ipswich. Last but not least, let's hear from Nick Wythe of Millwall Sicily site.
Hi everyone, this is Nick Wythe and these are my predictions. Millwall 3, Wrexham 0, Blackburn 2, Norwich 1, and Ipswich 2, Derby 1. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Nick. A big thanks to Dave Hart, who collates our results. Our second guest is a friend of the show. He has assembled a fantastic team that provides excellent responses within the community that they serve. His dynamic approach and leadership shows no bounds. Once compared to a Duracell bunny, let's say a big hello to the CEO of our Millwall Community Trust, Sean Daly.
Hello. Good
Hello,
evening.
Sean.
Hi, Sean. Hi, Sean.
Hello, you alright?
All good. All good.
Sean, it's Bethany here.
Hi, Bethany.
Hiya. It is greatly appreciated that you've joined us during these challenging times. We were really saddened to hear of Tim Sell's passing, your friend, and an inspirational team player in our Millwall Community Trust. Last week, we shared some clips of Tim and discussed what we knew about him. How would you remember Tim?
I knew Tim personally before he joined the trust. Very passionate person about making young people and staff achieve their goals. Worked very hard, really wanted to make a difference within the community and within his programs. Greatly missed by everyone. It's been a bit of a shock for the last sort of like 10 days for everyone that's involved with the trust. But I used to take calls from him 8 o'clock in the morning when he was on his way into work, and then 6 o'clock at night when he's on his way home. So they're the sort of things that I'm going to miss from around him. But he just had this love of using football to make people's lives better, whether that was young kids, whether it was adults, and he's going to be greatly missed for the trust.
Hi, Sean.
Hiya, how you doing? You all right?
Not too bad, not too bad. We all saw the press releases surrounding the Lions Forever Club. We all thought it was about time. Can you tell us how it came to be and how it will operate in the future?
Yeah, it's something that I'm quite passionate about. I see it a lot of other clubs where they recognise players that have represented the club and acknowledge those players that, they're part of the family, whether they move on to another club or whether they retire or something. So I wanted to recognise some of those players, and I wanted to have like a former players association. It's taken a long time to get it going because, of course, I need proof from the club. I need to get right things in place. So the idea is once a month we will induct 3 players into the former players association. 2 male and 1 female, because it's important that we've got lionesses as well, and they will come onto the pitch, receive a certificate, and then we'll go into the former players association. And my idea is that we continue every season recognising players that have represented the club, and fans get an opportunity to meet past players, and they get to come back to the Den, and we thank them for the time they were here. Because a lot of players will move on and not actually get to see the fans when they leave. So, and I want players to come back to the club and see how we've developed as a club since they put the boots on and played. So I just want to thank players and recognise players that have represented the club.
Well, thank you for putting it on, because I think it's a long time coming, and it's just what we need at this moment, I think.
Oh, thank you so much.
Sean, Stan here, mate.
Hi,
it's
Stan.
great to see. Yeah, how are you? All right?
I'm good.
Good. It's great to see Ted Robinson find a Santa dash, or as they call it, stroll partner this year in Carl Bates, who was on last week's show. Of course, I'll be there with Miles, not just to cheer everyone on. We need to communicate the message to potential participants. Do you have any early thoughts on when this is likely to be, and will there be specific formats for different age groups and abilities?
So I heard the chat last week. I know Carl wasn't happy about, they sort of suggested his age, which I thought he wasn't very happy about. We haven't made the plans for it yet. It's usually around Christmas, so it's usually the nearest game to Christmas Day. But we haven't made the plans at the moment because last year we were going to make the run down to St Paul's and back. Didn't happen because the weather was bad, so we ended up using the Lions Centre. I don't really want to put them in age groups and categories because I think it's quite a big family thing. So I like to see the families running with their little kids and stuff like that. So we haven't made plans yet of what we're going to do. It'll probably go, if the weather's good, it'll go back to the old format, back down to St Paul's, watching the Girls Academy that day playing, and then come back up. But in the next couple of months, we'll be setting the date. But yeah, we'll have our Santa and Elf Dash definitely again this year.
Right, okay. I look forward to that.
Sean, it's Jeff here. It's lovely to have you back
Jeff.
on. I was really impressed and still am by our last conversation about the Trust's achievements. That was on a recent show. I was really impressed with the day at St Paul's today with Bryan King earlier. What are your targets or objectives in Southwark, Lewisham and Sevenoaks for the future?
We're very much about making sure that we're in line with the needs that are set out by the councils. So Southwark have just announced their new strategy for the next 6 years. Lewisham did it about 2-3 months ago. And it was mostly around, engaging young people, getting people into employment, generating the area, making sure that families are at the forefront of everything that's being done, and giving all young people in Lewisham or Southwark an opportunity to achieve their aspirations, which fits in very nicely with what we do. So our programs will be mostly done around the needs of what's been set out, the strategies. So I know at the moment, like Lewisham are looking at like their employment rates and how can they get young people into employment? How can they get people re-skilled up for the changing employment world? So, our employment hub services that, where people are coming in, finding jobs, moving on. Young people, there's a lot of flats being built around the area and a lot of green land or sports facilities being put in. So, how do we engage those young people so they stay online in their life and not going down different routes? So, we're going to be working with the council about setting sporting activities up on estates and in local areas that we can engage young people. But my role is to make sure that as a football club, we're in line with the strategy of both councils. Because I think if we go off and do our own thing, we don't get the backing of the council there because they'll say, that isn't what we're looking at you to doing. I do think as a club and as a trust, we have a responsibility to help our residents in all those areas that the councils have identified. So I've got a lot of things that we want to work on. We want to use St Paul's more. How can that be a hub for the community? How can we put on employment programs there? I still want to do the stuff around, low income families, doing their free holiday camps, feeding them. But I'm going to be looking at other ways that we can engage older people, those sort of things there. But it's all going to be in line with what the council want us to do.
Thanks for that, Sean. I'd like to add my thoughts about the loss of Tim Sells as well. There was a very, very fine man. You must be in bits over it. Thank you.
Yeah, he was. To be fair, he's one of my best friends. And we're a very small organisation. There's 15 or 20 of us, so we work for each other. And he was very much a part of that. And a lot of people that he work under Tim need support at the moment, and that's my role at the moment, to help those people get over it. And I have said to all of them, it will get better. It will get better, but the most important thing in us to trust now is to leave a legacy for Tim, what he would want, and we'll continue doing that work to support his legacy.
That's really lovely, Sean. That's really lovely. So it is Ted's Prediction League. So if you could share your forecast for the 3 championship fixtures. So Millwall, Wrexham.
I think we'll do all right there. I thought we played okay against Coventry. I think we'll win 1-0.
And Blackburn, Norwich.
I think that's going to be quite a tight game. I think ends up 1-1.
And Ipswich, Derby.
I don't think Ipswich have set the league alight since they've dropped down. And Derby, they're doing not too bad. So I'm going to put that down as a 1-0 win to Derby.
Some wonderful predictions there. Thank you so much for joining us on the show, Sean. It's always a pleasure listening to you and your insights. We're excited to have you back with us again soon. And above all, our hearts go out to Tim's family, his colleagues and his friends, and to you during this challenging time. So thank you for being here, and goodbye for now.
Thanks for all your support. Good night, everyone.
We will take a break here to hear about our community trust. Our Millwall Community Trust Lions Centre has a 4G football pitch where 9 versus 9 can play, a sports hall, classrooms and a cafe. To access these state-of-the-art facilities in a safe and positive environment, get in touch on 0207 740 0503. I'm your host, Bethany Manktelow, and with me I've got the No One Likes Us Talking team of Stan Godwin, Jeff Burnige and Steve Warren. If you use the facilities at our community trust, you will support their work in the community. We are all looking forward to the next game, but in the meantime, here are a few matters of interest for Millwall fans and those interested in football.
Next week, there won't be a Friday podcast, but I'm excited to invite you to tune in again for our live radio show at Maritime Radio 96.5 FM on Saturday, September the 6th at 8 p.m. Join me and the wonderful Jeff Burnige, known as the Man of the People, and the unique Ted Robinson, sometimes referred to as Ted Linton. Our fantastic host, Miles G. Thornton, will be guiding us through it all. We are all looking forward to sharing this great experience with you on our Millwall News and Views show.
The Millwall Lionesses are excited to head over to the Fort Road Recreation Ground, situated at Fort Road, Newhaven, East Sussex, BN9 9EL, for their match this Sunday, the 31st of August, kicking off at 2 p.m. They're eager to build on their achievements from last season and would love to see you there. Why not join them at the seaside and cheer them on as they face Newhaven women? It's an excellent opportunity to enjoy some women's football and support our fantastic team.
Also, remember Harvey's Den Cafe. It welcomes everyone, not just on match days, but throughout the week. It's located on the first floor of the Lions Centre in Ballina Road, home of the Millwall Community Trust. It's a cosy spot for a coffee, a sandwich, or even a meal. And the best part, their prices are very reasonable, making it a very friendly place to catch up or relax.
In the meantime, tune in with the No One Likes Us Talking team as they bring you exciting updates from our games, whether we're on home turf or away, featuring the Lions, Lionesses, Romans and Pride. Plus, stay in the loop with the latest Millwall community news. Enjoy all of this fantastic content on Maritime Radio at 96.5 FM or hop over to their website. We're also thrilled to connect with you on Instagram, Facebook, X, formerly Twitter, YouTube, Spreaker and all of your favourite podcast platforms. A huge thank you to you, Jeff.
Yes, thank you, Bethany. Enjoyed it, as always.
And thank you, Stan.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Bethany.
And thank you, Dad.
Thanks, Bethany, and see you tomorrow and Saturday.
And thank you to everyone else for tuning in. Your support means a great deal. Finally, let's not forget to keep it safe on the streets out there. And it's good night from me.
Our Millwall Fan Show is sponsored by G&M Motors of Gravesend, Honda dealers and much more. Thank you.
Let's the best team in London, no, the best team of all. Everybody knows us, we're called Millwall. Yeah! Let him come, let him come. Let him come, let them all come down to the den. Let him come, let him come. We'll only have to beat him again. It's the best team in London know the best team of all. Everybody knows us, we're called Millwall. Millwall, let them come, let them come, let them come down to the den. It's Saturday in Cold Glow Lane, we've all come down to cheer. We've had our jelly deals and our glass of beer. Come rain or shine, our families will bring unblessed. And as the lions run on the pitch, everyone will sing. And let them come, let them come, let them come, Khalil, come down to the den. Let them come, let them come. We'll only have to beat them